I assume you've watched the intro. If you haven't, do watch it. I'm now going to just go through, and in no particular order, what I'm going to cover in this course and my motivations on why. And I've made a list here, and you're actually watching me at this moment. Actually, I'm busy creating the course as I go along, and I'm sitting this morning going through ideas and the important parts about YouTube creations. I'm going to talk a bit about cameras. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on cameras because I don't know if you've ever heard of the saying that professionals worry about money, artists worry about light and sound, and amateurs worry about equipment. Let's go from amateur to artist, shall we? I'm not going to worry too much about equipment. I am going to share with you what I use, what I find very, very effective, because YouTube, generally speaking, we're lone wolves. We run around on our own. Occasionally we are lucky enough to have an assistant to help us shoot, but so often we're filming ourselves. And I've come across some really great equipment and techniques for shooting and getting reliable footage for the edit. So I will be talking a little bit about equipment, but not a lot about equipment. I'm going to talk about addressing the camera. I'm now looking directly down the camera lens, which means that I have eye-to-eye contact with my audience. I see videos that suddenly cut to a person speaking like this, and I'll continue talking like this. Who am I talking to? I'm talking to you. You sitting there watching this video right now. I'm talking to you, not some thing in the background. Anyway, I'll teach you some techniques there that sometimes it can be disturbing, and when I see it I think to myself, these people don't know what they're doing, and they're breaking some rules. There are some rules that are there to be broken, there are others that must not be broken. I'll go through that. And techniques for addressing the camera: be yourself, be relaxed. Do I script my work? No. Maybe you can tell I don't. It's more natural, it's more real. I'll help you with that process. Shooting from the hip. Often when we're filming, I'm going to use a number of very well-known YouTubers. Now, I don't have a license to use their footage on my course. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up links. So you'll then watch the video, and a little bit how I've put it up here. I've got two screens. You're going to be able to put my video on one screen and then dial up to YouTube and watch their video on another screen, and I'll actually point out, can you see this technique? Can you see that technique? That's why it works. Isn't that clever? I like that. I don't like that. And I'm going to help you understand why. And these YouTube examples that I'm going to use, these are huge YouTubers. I look up to them and think, wow, you have amazing channels. Why do you have amazing channels? You've got amazing content, and I can see that content. B-roll is vital. So now I'm talking to you A-roll. The B-roll is the background stuff that I'll cut to fill in the story. Talk about B-roll content. It's absolutely vital. Self-shooting and selfies, I mentioned that before. We'll delve a little bit into equipment and handling equipment. Lighting and backgrounds. People often don't pay enough attention to lighting and backgrounds. Your background is vital. Your background's got to be relevant, okay? Very important. Audio. This is one of the toughest parts, is getting the audio right. I'm using a lavalier microphone here, sitting here. At the moment, I'm actually using a radio mic, even though my camera is very, very close. Lavalier lapel microphones are very good for a voice attenuation. I'll talk about microphones, talk about attenuating, picking up. Sometimes you don't want too much background noise. When you've got somebody talking, you want to hear what they're saying. It's a common mistake, quite a challenge, but easily overcome with a bit of understanding and a bit of know-how. Okay, editing techniques. Editing is a big part of this course, because I see that sloppy editing is probably the biggest cause of, I won't say failure in YouTube, but poor quality videos. They're not well edited because they're not paced. The storytelling isn't there. So I'm going to talk a lot about editing. I'm going to talk a lot about avoiding the perils of music choice. Oh my heavens, the amount of videos that I watch that have the music that just is there because the editor didn't know what else to do. Quite frankly, because the editor didn't know what else to do. I'm going to help you with that. Music, and there's a technique I use. I'm going to help you with that. You're going to get a lot for that. I mentioned earlier in the intro about the get on with it syndrome. Is, you know, when you kind of have a shot that's just plain too long. Wow, I see it with some of the really good channels, not the great channels, but some of the good channels. Just the shot that just, anyway, we'll get there. We will get there. How to invite your viewers to watch the next video. That might seem pretty straightforward, but there are a few ideas that I have that really, really work well. We will talk about titles. We will talk about thumbnails. Thumbnails are very important with YouTube, no matter what. I mean, as important as anything else. A good thumbnail is really important, but a good title is even more important. And I'll talk about income production alternatives, crowdfunding, AdSense, sponsorship, and things like that. And I'll wrap it up with that. That's a very brief outline as to the content you can expect in this course. To reiterate, it's not a technical course. I'm not going to teach you technically how to use a camera, technically how to upload to YouTube, technically how to edit in terms of using the software. It's not a technical course. It's a creative course. Not so much how to do something, but why would you do something, and its effect on the production and its effect on your YouTube channel. That's lesson number 1 done.